On the morning of Saturday, September 15th, members of the Sage Alliance gathered in Hinsdale, New Hampshire, to form a flotilla of canoes and kayaks to view up close Entergy's Yankee Vernon nuclear power plant.
My name is Randy Keeler.
I'm Azelle Flornina from Shutesbury.
I'm Karen, I'm from Greenfield.
And I'm Maya Alphalaumer, Mango Papaya.
My name is Woody Bernhardt, I'm from Marlborough, Vermont.
I'm Hattie Nessel from Ethel, Mass.
My name is Randy Wright, I live in Dummerston, Vermont.
My name's Garrett Skank.
We're grandmas.
We're the generation that can still make a difference.
The Sage Alliance is made up of people committed to safe and green energy. It is their belief that the nuclear power plant in Vernon is not safe, it is not green, and it must be shut down due to its pollution of our environment.
Last night and my children and said, well, up there where your mom and your dad lived, close by, that plant is making the river a little warmer, and we're not happy about it. And the fish are not happy. The cold water fish, like the shad, aren't happy. So Grammy's going up with her kayak, and I know you're all behind me.
99% of the shad are gone, and almost 100% of the salmon are gone. The cold water fish can't coexist in the hot water that they're dumping in. They take in 654 million gallons of water a day, and instead of cooling it with their cooling towers, they just dump it in at very high levels into the water.
Water is such a vital part of our life, and if we don't protect the water and everything else, well, we're dead, human race. That's why I'm out here.
I am really concerned about the health of the rivers and all life as, you know, interdependent with that. And there are other ways to have energy here that could help create a better world, better, greener, cleaner, and more jobs for people. Actually, more jobs.
You know, kids worry about nature. I think it's a way to connect with them.
As a grandmother, I have the freedom to come out here and rage for those grandchildren.
So that this particular action, however big or small it is, I think we can make it bigger by connecting with our families and with the next generations and with our neighbors. And children do worry about fish, probably more than the adults do. So I'm figuring that my grandchildren will hear that message.
My main reason for being here is because of the future of the planet. You know, nuclear power has been operating for many decades in this nation, and we have yet to come up with any responsible, environmentally sustainable way to dispose of the atrocious nuclear waste that's being produced. You know, high-level radioactive waste, it's going to be toxic to life on this planet for thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of years, and every minute that every nuclear plant continues to operate, it increases that toxic load on this planet that we are unable to deal with.
Radiation is a genetic toxin. It damages the human genome. The problem is that it damages the genetic material that we transfer to our children and our grandchildren and their children, and it damages it permanently. It's not like something that goes away. So there is no safe dose of radiation.
This nuke plant is so dangerous. I mean, there is I agree with Peggy. It's partly the rise in temperature of the water, but it's also as we all know, same make and model and era as the Fukushima Daiichi plants that went. And there's just, it is not safe. We support the Vermont legislature and governor in wanting to shut it down. We're here to try to get, again, more attention on this plant.
If there is a meltdown at Vernon, it would contaminate the radius, so it would make a large part of New England uninhabitable. This is not unimaginable. The reactor at Vernon is the same GE Mark I boiling water reactor that devastated Fukushima, Japan in the spring of 2011.
How close do I live? Yeah. I'm 19 miles south of here in Sunderland. That's my hometown.
I'm from Greenfield, so not all that far.
I live with my wife Betsy and others in Coleraine, Massachusetts.
But you know, what happens up here is really relevant to Greenfield.
Which is exactly 10 miles from our home to the reactor on the other side of the river.
I'm from Marlborough, Vermont. It's about 10 miles away from Vermont Yankee.
I'm about 7 miles as the crow flies to where we are right now.
So we are within the emergency evacuation zone.
Right. That's inside. That's what I call it's within the 20 to 30 kilometer zone at Fukushima, which was the cynical, you should evacuate, but we're not going to tell you to evacuate zone.
So I'm definitely in the first line of offense should a problem happen at Vermont Yankee.
Last year when Fukushima happened, and that was a real wake-up call. Vermont Yankee is essentially a duplicate of Fukushima. It's the same Mark I boiling water reactor, same age, same design, and what happened in Fukushima could easily happen here. Every plant is designed for its location. We may not have tidal waves up here, but we certainly have earthquakes. And the plant in Fukushima in Japan, those plants are obviously designed for more earthquakes than we're going to get here. So a plant that's in Vermont is not going to be designed to the same earthquake standard as a plant in Japan, and yet the earthquakes knocked out those plants over there. We could have the same sort of situation here. Fukushima happened because they lost off-site power to the plant, and that can happen at any nuke in this country or anywhere.
You know, I'm here today, and I hope a lot of other people come too, because I think what we need to do, while the whole question of whether this plant continues to operate or gets shut down is adjudicated in the courts and in other semi-judicial bodies, we, the people who know that this reactor is dangerous,
actually show our voices so that the people in the position of authority who can actually make something happen, they need to see us, they need to hear us, they need to see that the massive support is actually here rather than just sitting home alone professing to myself that I do not support nuclear power.
Keeping this thing in the public eye so people don't go to sleep on this problem. It's such a horrendous problem, people don't want to think about it day after day after day. I mean, who would? I don't even. But we need to remind each other and buoy each other and stand in solidarity and say, it's wrong, it must close, it's dangerous, it threatens all of us, and the kind of corporate abuse that keeps it running has to be challenged. So, you know, this is just one day, one occasion, one demonstration, but every time we come out and keep this issue in the public eye, it matters. It keeps it from going away. And ultimately, I feel we will prevail as long as we don't go to sleep and we don't give up.